group here in Daytona Beach. All right. There are still 5 of our 10 semifinalists for us to learn a little about, so here we go. We're going to continue with Miss Virginia, Angela Thigpen. Angela is 15 years old from Portsmouth, Virginia. And your bio says that you have lots of scrapbooks. What do you put in them? What are they for?
I keep my ballet programs in them, my dog's hair, and I have a lock of my boyfriend's hair in there.
Who are you rooming with here?
Miss California.
She have short hair now?
No, it's still long.
Have you cut a little for your scrapbook to remember this event?
No, I let her keep her hair this time. I might later.
I also understand you have a lot of animals. Could you name them for us?
Sure. Okay, here's Hexie, Shishi, Tiny, Jasper, Snowball, Nibbles, Mo, Bear, Blinky, Baby 1 and 2, and then I have Buckwheat, and then I have Mo, Larry, and Curly, and Tweety.
I'm not going to get into what they are. I just like the names. I do have to say one thing, though, that during our rehearsals, I always like to ask these girls what their mother's most embarrassing moment was. You must tell them the story, what your mother did.
Okay, well, she gets up at about 6:30 and goes to work until 5. And I guess she was really tired this day because she decided she needed her car washed. So she went to the car wash, and it was hot, so the windows were open. And she forgot to close them on the way in, so she kind of got a shower for free. She realized it when the brush hit her in the face, and she came home wet, and my friends were there.
It's your own personal soap opera. All right, Angela Thigpen, thank you very much. Miss Virginia. Love that story. Miss New York, Claudia Leem. Claudia's 15 years old, and she's from New York City, New York. Should you mention which borough?
Queens.
Queens, all right. Your mother is German, and your father is Indonesian. Do you speak those languages?
I speak German. I've been taking German for 8 years now, and this is my last year. I go to German school, which is the most important year because I take my Regents.
And I also understand you have a pet that takes after your mother.
Yes, I have a bird. His name is Hansi, and he has a German accent when he speaks.
Learned it from your mother?
Yes, he did, because my mom taught him how to speak.
To hear this bird, I want my cracker now. You go to an all-girls school, you said. Why did you go to an all-girls school?
Well, actually, it was my father's idea because he thought that I would concentrate more on school. But it's actually in reverse because when you're in an all-girls school, you think more about the guys, and then at the end of the day, you have something to look forward to. But also, I think it's a good idea that I go to an all-girls school because you have something to look forward to at the end of the day, and you have something to motivate you on.
Now your dad knows, Claudia. You're in trouble. Miss New York, Claudia Leem. Thank you. We continue with Miss South Dakota, Valerie Marsden. Valerie's 17 years old from Rapid City, South Dakota. Valerie, you just recently had a big family reunion. How many people were there, and tell us about it?
Well, it was actually the week right before I came to Daytona, and there was 110 people there from all over the country, from California to Oregon to New York to Georgia. And we rented out a motel in a small town in South Dakota where my great-grandparents lived in a log cabin. That's where the family all started, and we just had a ball.
And who put this family reunion together?
Well, the Dirty Dozen did.
You want to explain who the Dirty Dozen are?
Well, the Dirty Dozen is my grandmother and her 5 brothers and sisters and their spouses. And they're called the Dirty Dozen because they're not only the organizers of the reunion, but they're also the troublemakers because they like to have a lot of fun.
I also understand you play softball. Is your coach really a tough guy?
Well, he's not really tough, but he gets knocked around a lot.
How? What happens to him?
Well, in the last 3 years, he cracked a rib, got 4 stitches underneath his eye, and had 5 stitches on his lip.
This is a tough softball team. Why does he keep doing this?
Well, probably because he's my dad.
He has no choice, right? Thank you very much, Valerie Marsden, Miss South Dakota. Miss Oklahoma, Allison Brown. Allison is 17 years old from Edmond, Oklahoma. Allison, your bio says, and I'm going to read this, that you think Edna Yuval Gladstone was the greatest person in the world. Excuse my ignorance, but who is that?
Well, on our application sheet, we were asked to pick who we thought was the greatest person in the world. And I couldn't think of anybody because there's so many different fields and there's so many different great people that it's hard to compare them. Like there's great artists and there's great poets and there's great politicians, and it's kind of hard to put them all together and pick out the greatest. It's like comparing apples to oranges. So I just made up that name.
Did it confuse everybody?
Yeah, so far.
Including me. Your mother is a writer, I understand, and she's a feminist writer. She writes about great women in history. What did she say when you told her you were going to enter a pageant?
Well, actually, she was the one that started my first pageant. But it was really funny because when I was younger, she used to picket pageants. She was with a feminist group that didn't believe in the beauty pageants. But now that she's seen me in them, and now that she's seen how they work, then she's my biggest fan.
I think that's great. I just want to point out to everybody, during rehearsal one day, we were all sitting up on the bleachers at this beautiful center, and we heard this loud thud. What was it?
Well, I had fallen asleep on the chairs, and I was having a dream, and so I rolled over to notice that the chairs weren't that wide.
Yeah. Right down the aisle she rolled. Thank you, Allison Brown, Miss Oklahoma. Next, Miss Texas, Becky Pistano. Becky is 17 years old from San Antonio, Texas. And your bio says you're bilingual. What's your second language?
Spanish. Well, actually, English is my second language because I learned Spanish first.
Where are your parents from, Becky?
My mother is from Mexico City, and my father is from the Canary Islands in Spain.
And how did they meet?
Well, they met in medical school. My mother was studying to be an MD, and so was my father, and someone got the bright idea to introduce them, so that's really where it all started.
Do you plan to be a doctor yourself?
No, I don't have the stomach for it.
You've seen what it's all about. What language do you speak at home?
Well, I speak English, but my mother speaks Spanish, and it's kind of different. My mother speaks to me in Spanish, and I answer in English. So when friends come over, they understand exactly half of the conversation.
Are all seriously confused, are they? Go ahead, sir.
Nothing to say.
Well, thank you very much, Becky Pistana. Thank you, Miss Texas. Well, I've got to say congratulations to all of you. All of our girls have made my assignment very, very pleasant. And I know that you at home have enjoyed meeting these 10 young ladies. And I hope it helped you in your unofficial judging.
Now the interview competition is over, and the computer tells us that the highest score went to Miss Oklahoma, with Miss Texas second, and Miss Virginia third. From teen scoring with judges, let's turn to great entertainers who over the years have consistently scored with teen audiences. One such group is the Commodores, and they'll be with us right after this from Scope. Aren't they great?
I love the Commodores. I think they're wonderful.
They're terrific. All right, now it's my pleasure to introduce our panel of celebrity judges.
Morgan, wait a minute. I've got a trivia question for the audience.
Right now, Michael?
Yeah, this is really good.
Okay.
All right. Now, you've heard the names of our contestants tonight twice already, in the Parade of States and in the swimsuit competition.
Great observation, Michael.
Yeah, we saw them in those swimsuit fashion shows. And 6 of our young ladies this evening, that's more than 10%, have the same first name. Were you listening? What is it? Now, it was there's a couple of people who know. It was a popular name over 16 years ago. Another hint, it was a song title. One more hint, it was a big hit for the Beatles.
Michelle.
She does that to me all the time. It was Michelle.
Goodbye, Michael. All right, it's now my great pleasure to introduce the members of our celebrity panel of judges. actress, talk show hostess, executive of the cosmetic line that bears her name, and the recently released video, Beautiful the Total Look, is Beverly Sassoon. After a long and successful career as a major league infielder, including an outstanding season for the 1979 champion Pittsburgh Pirates, he's now the third base coach of the Texas Rangers. Please welcome Tim Foley. She's a singer and musician, but she's best known as an actress, especially in the long-running television series 8 is Enough. Susan Richardson. He's loved by millions as Uncle Jerry on the hit TV series Webster and helps contestants conquer the $25,000 pyramid. Here's Henry Pollack. An accomplished actress, singer, and author. She's best known as one of the most successful and sought-after models for magazine covers, TV commercials, and fashion layouts, the beautiful Beverly Johnson. The energetic host of the popular TV show Puttin' on the Hits is also co-author of a new book for parents called Kid Biz, How to Help Your Child Succeed in Show Business. Here's Alan Fawcett. She's a writer and editor who's worked in the teen field for 15 years. As editorial director of the youth-oriented 16 magazine, she's an expert on the interests and aspirations of today's teens. Randy Reisfeld. She's currently playing in the CBS daytime drama Capital, as well as the nighttime series Facts of Life. Here's Marge Doucet. One of the fashion industry's brightest stars, the internationally known fashion designer, here is Bobby Toe. She's currently combining being a student, an actress, and a model. In 1984, she became the second young lady ever to win the title of Miss Teen USA. Welcome back, Cherise Haugen. A two-time Tony Award-winning Broadway star and now recording artist whose debut album, Untapped, will be released on Quest Records shortly. Here is Hinton Battle. My congratulations on the dedication all of you have shown, and along with the congratulations, a reminder to you and to our armchair panel at home, your next assignment is the swimsuit competition. And that's coming up right after this word from Ivory Bar.